Welcome to This Week in Guns. This show is brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network and Patriot Patch Company. This podcast offers commentary on the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz. I'm your host, Jake Challen, president of FRN. You make this show possible. That's right. You simply click through our Amazon affiliate link the next time you're shopping online, and a small portion of your sale goes to supporting pro-gun shows like This Week in Guns. We have a great panel this week. We have Natalie Foster of Girls Guide to Guns and Love at First Shot. Hey, Natalie.
Hey, Jake. How are you? It's so nice to be back.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you. It actually works out today with my schedule. So it is an honor to be back. I'm so glad to see you guys, even with our mini panel. It's very
right, doing a mini panel, mini episode tonight, early show tonight. Summer is crazy for all of us, so we're going to try to knock this out quick. We have Braca James, chairman and founder of MASF. Hey, Braca.
Hey, good evening, Jake. How are you?
Doing great. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised, especially on live shows. And you can watch live every Thursday night on the Firearms Radio Network Facebook page and on the Firearms Radio Network YouTube page. Normally we go live about 8:15 p.m. Central Time. Tonight we're live about an hour early. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching the show, and everyone that downloads it and listens via podcast, which is by far the vast majority of you. Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. We have these new police patches that put on the back of a chest rig or the front. Also have a sheriff department version at patriotpatch.co. These are PVC, high quality. Normally these are made out of low quality embroidery, and they're not very cool, but these are cool. Also,
it's very Batman, by the way. Like I saw when you shift it in the light, you can see that there is a flag underlying that. It's like black on black flag, and then police in white. That is rad, I have to say.
And I am Batman. Also, the AK-47 clean mat over at Patriot Patch Co. and have some off-road patches. I got one on my hat, a Jeep patch. You can check it out, patriotpatch.co. Start with some positive news tonight. Minnesota teen athletes choosing trap shooting over hockey. That's right, over hockey. You know, Minnesota.
Dude, that's awesome.
They're practically Canadian.
Their accents, you can't tell the difference.
That's true. True story.
So get this, the Minnesota Clay Target League has teams, they manage all the teams in tournament. They have 343 teams statewide. Some of the participants young as 9 years old.
Dude, that rocks. Seriously.
Already has 11,000 participants, expecting 900 more teenagers to join the sport this year alone.
That's so amazing. Yeah, it's so fun to see that. And I mean, if you're going to see a revolution, or in terms, I don't mean revolution as in things go crazy. Yeah. I should be careful where we go with that. But I mean, in terms of reviving, I should say revival. How's that? A revival of the shooting sports. I mean, this is what we're talking about. This is the next generation. You're getting them, early, helping them really know about gun safety first and foremost. And then engendering this love for it, that they can pass down for generations. That is huge. It's so great. And I would love to see, I hope there are little girls in there too. I hope that it's not just, obviously it's typically male dominated, but I hope that they're really including a lot of little girls, because there are a lot of girls that are really good. I mean, look at Kim Rhodey, she started when she was little, and now she's a 6-time Olympian. Anyway, I'm very excited about this development. It's very cool. And saying it's bigger than hockey in Minnesota. It's like saying it's bigger than football in Texas. I mean, that's crazy. That's so awesome.
It is. That's huge.
Or bigger than mud trucks in Alabama. Maybe. I don't know.
Basketball in Indiana.
There you go.
Surfing in California.
Awesome. Well, it was very good news, and a very well-written article by my good friend Jen Jaquise over at Bearing Arms. Thank you, Jen, for the awesome article.
Yes. High five to Jen.
And the positive news, had another incident in Britain this week. We're not going to talk too much about the actual incident, but here's some I guess some conversations have been started in Europe, and most British people think police should be armed. We had another article, I'm not sure if it was last week's show or this week, but where the unarmed police were running from the attackers. And then a companion story, a Czech president has a solution for Islamic terrorism, gun ownership.
Well, they're finally getting it. And you know what? They're not listening even to their own law enforcement. One of my friends, her husband, is a federal law enforcement officer over right there where this has happened. And he had a couple of officers who were actually, during the first Paris bombing, that first concert, they were actually there. When they leave their job, they have to lock their pistol. They have Glock 19s and 17s in their desk and leave. Do you know how frustrating it was for those guys? Those guys are all marksmen. They all know what to do with that gun, and they're not allowed to take it home with them.
Right. And it's totally governed by bureaucrats who know nothing about firearms or safety or the fact that these people can avert all, so much of this violence and bloodshed that is completely unnecessary.
Agreed.
I've got some friends over there in the UK, super liberal. They are interesting because they explain to me that the police are unarmed because they call it the police service, not police officers, police service. So they are supposed to be at your service, and they believe that they're a more evolved, more highly civilized society. And I guess what they don't consider, well, first of all, obviously that's not true because they have, the knife stabbings. I mean, you could talk to Billy Johnson all about the statistics on the knife issues that they've got there. I mean, they're trying to ban pointed knives. Like they want only butter knives. I mean, literally, there are people who just will not stop at any. They're not happy with with any sort of self-defense or anything that can harm another living being. But anyway, all that to say that it's just there is still that heartbeat, that contingency of the population there that are they just care deeply about their gun rights, and they had to acquiesce. They had to give them up. When they banned firearms, I believe it was the 80s, right? I really should know my dates on this one. I'm a little low blood sugar at the moment, so typically I know my dates on that, but it's nice to see that people are starting to come around. But you're always going to have, it's just like getting more and more and more polarized. So depending on what happens on the election tonight, really, today, this very day, determines a lot of where the UK goes, and the UK is such an important ally of ours. We need them as an ally, right? That this is a really big article, I think, a really important thing to note.
And the bottom line, the way things are going, they're going to have to take action. They can't ignore this over and over and over with the amount of soft target attacks that they've had on their people over and over. Eventually, their citizens are going to say, okay, you guys need to do something about this. I hate to see how many innocent lives have to be lost along the way, but as we know, as history has shown us, a lot of times blood has to be shed. It has to get really, really bad before a change occurs. So,
all right, gotta keep moving. California continues to slide. Court upholds mandatory dealer transfer fees on guns in California. Companion stories: gun businesses looking for ways to get out of California, and California Senate exempts itself from gun laws again.
So my friend Alan Normandy, who owns BattleComp, he had to leave. He was in San Francisco for 32 years, I believe, as a law enforcement officer while he was running his company, BattleComp. And as soon as he retired, he left. He moved off to Arizona. He couldn't do business there anymore. So he's one example of a good company that had to leave the state and that revenue is gone now because of their laws here.
And people don't realize this. We mentioned it before, but there are a ton of gun companies in California still. That's
right. And gun accessories companies as well. Yeah, it's true. And thank you for saying that people don't realize that, because, I live in LA, right? I'm sitting here talking to you from Santa Monica, California. Cool. And it is maddening to see all of these ridiculous headlines that just piss you off, especially, the California Senate exempts itself from gun laws again. Of course, I mean, the same thing that they did with healthcare, right? With with Obamacare, when Congress exempted themselves. It is not how the founders intended it, and it is absolutely maddening. But what you've got to remember, folks, and please remember this, is that there are a ton of gun people out here. Truly,
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I just spoke to a friend of mine who has a concealed carry product. She said her number one state that she ships to is California. Still,
wow.
yes,
Okay.
I know, which is encouraging. I know. And California is so tricky because they have redistricted to make sure that it always goes blue, and we really don't have a prayer. And violence is going up because they've changed all the stupid laws because of the prison population is completely overrun. I mean, it is an example of a completely mismanaged state. Mm-hmm. And there's an old saying that says, "As goes California, so goes the nation." And oh man, I hope everybody's listening and paying attention, because okay, right now we have a friendly administration. Great. They're a little kooky, but it's a friendly gun administration, right? We need to make sure that we get everything done as much as we can, like now, because the 2018 elections are coming up and we need to be very vigilant. Sorry, this is obviously my soapbox, but I'm just saying, pay attention to these. Know that it could happen to you. I don't care if you're in Minnesota where the next generation is coming up. You will have opposition, and they are loud, and they are scary. So,
and anyway. Just to add on to what Natalie's saying, please stop by FPC, the Firearms Policy Coalition. My friend Brandon and his team are working hard constantly to try to get the legislation changed over there. They're a nonprofit. Please go support them. They will show you what bills need to be signatures. Just go to FPC, sign up for their email updates. You can do at least that much. It's free. Just to put your signature on one of these petitions, that will help them greatly. Donate a couple bucks.
They're a great organization. That's true.
All right. We're moving to Maine. Prohibits firearm registry, passed by 122 to 22 margin. The state of Maine, they've passed a law to prohibit future firearms registration of any kind.
Well, that's good.
Boom.
So that should have been positive news, actually. So you can pledge your support for this show by going over to firearmsradio.tv/pledge. You can pledge at the after show level and hang out with us every other episode. You can also pledge for as little as $5 per month just to support pro gun radio like This Week in Guns. Go over to firearmsradio.tv/pledge. Moody's downgrades Vista Outdoors and places a negative forecast for their financial outlook. The Vista Outdoors are a company that owns a bunch of brands you all know, like Hops.
I thought it was Hoppies. I thought you pronounced it Hoppies. Is that wrong?
I pronounce it Hops. So
I've always said Hops too.
Okay, well maybe our listeners can tell us.
Well, just say you're from. It's your California thing. It's cool.
No, I'm not Californian. I just live here.
Ton of brands, and you probably love some of them. Uncle Mike's is also under there.
Bushnell, Savage.
So
country.
Yeah. So anyway, so last quarter they had a 5% drop in sales and ended the year with a 32% increase in operating expenses. A lot of that was due to some of their new facilities they built out. We talked about that before on the show. But Moody's Investor Service is raising concerns here. They're worried that Vista Outdoor will default on some financial obligations. Because we're looking at this national trend, they're looking at it and seeing, firearm sales are down, ammo sales are down, and they're not going to increase necessarily anytime soon. Maybe not till the next election. So,
time will tell.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I know that we've discussed this before, but they're comparing it to the past few years, right? When there have been more guns purchased than ever, literally.
It's ramped up so much,
right,
over the last 8-10 years that it has to level out. It's a bubble. So
it is indeed, just like that too. Bubble.
And who knows? It may go down a lot more here too, but maybe not, because there's more and more new gun owners. So it might not be the same as the housing bubble where it just completely burst.
And concealed carry is up like dramatically. So that's exciting. And that's the next wave, because, firearm ownership was one thing when there was a threat of that being taken away, under obviously Obama, but then a potential Hillary administration. And now terrorism is the issue. And so people want to be able to defend themselves. Terrorism, crime, like we're seeing, like I mentioned in California.
There was an article, sorry to interrupt, Natalie.
No,
there was
go ahead.
I left out of the show, and it was about how European terrorism drives even U.S. gun sales. So yeah, you're right. There's
no question. I mean, it spiked after San Bernardino, and unfortunately, more of these are going to happen, especially if we don't have this, temporary stay on travel from these countries. So it's going to, unfortunately get worse, I think, and then that'll drive sales up. I'm not saying I'm excited about that. Obviously, I want more people to have guns and more freedom and safety and all of that. But, like Baraka mentioned, I think we're going to have to learn the hard way, tragically.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's what history shows us every time.
Speaking of concealed carry, Personal Defense Network and USCCA partner up to expand training for gun owners. Basically, they're coming together because they both have training aspects of what they do. And so they're going to be kind of sharing those different opportunities for both of their member bases.
Good. I'm behind anything that's going to push out firearm safety education training. As long as people are getting out there and they're understanding how to learn how to be safe and how to protect themselves with a gun, then I'm happy and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and these are two organizations that are, trustworthy. They're well known. They have, really good people at the helm, and it's quality training that you're going to get.
And that's what we need.
Yeah, I'm a fan. That's good.
Moving on to AR-15 Parts of Weights database. This was just an interesting kind of a tidbit article I put in here, but did you know there's a database with almost every AR-15 part?
No, I wasn't aware.
With their weight, so you can spec out your total weight for your AR and all the parts you're going to put into it before you ever buy the parts.
Pretty cool.
This is amazing. This is like so worth more than just a passing little mention. This is so cool. And it really is incredibly useful, especially, my consideration. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, of the women that I help introduce to firearms, like weight is a factor. And then of course, if you've been in the military, that weight is a factor, and, or hunting, even that kind of thing. This is great. And then if you're just plinking, you don't care, or just or competition shooting. I mean, this is so incredibly useful and fun too. I mean, you can just mess around with all sorts of tools. What I would love to see on it is the quality, to see how people rank it, like if there's a star system or something like that, to see how people rank the part in addition to knowing the weight, because I mean, if it breaks easily, then I don't really care if it weighs less than,
True. You're right.
Another one. So I haven't really explored it enough to know if that's a component, but that would be really, really cool.
No, you actually hit on it. It is. Now, there was a couple of companies that made some bad lower receivers that were polymer. And they kind of exploded and cracked. So I know what you're saying is 100% factual in that regard. There has been some issues with some of those.
Speaking of issues, Ruger has a recall on the Mark IV.
Your segues are really solid tonight, by the way. I gotta say, your segues are on point.
I try. I'm shooting. I haven't publicly announced this, but I'm going for the Emmy for segues this year.
That probably is a thing, though. I'm just saying.
Well, that kind of sucks. That is specifically the pistol that I was going to buy for my 9-year-old daughter here in a couple of months.
It'll be all right. Ruger is a good company. They fix things.
Well, hopefully they knock this out quick.
So Ruger, if you
they will, they probably already did.
Mark IV, including the 2245 models manufactured prior to June 1st, 2017. So these were the really early Mark IVs because they came out late last year. So it has a potential to discharge unintentionally if the safety is not utilized correctly, in particular if the trigger is pulled while the safety lever is midway between safe and fire positions. That is, the safety is not fully engaged or fully disengaged. Then the pistol may not fire when the trigger is pulled. However, if the trigger is released and the safety lever is then moved from the mid position to the fire position, the pistol may may fire at that time. So I guess that could be kind of scary if you're screwing around with your trigger and safety.
Yeah. You know, what I've always wondered about recalls, and here it matters more than any other recall. Like I get, you know, on baby items and things like that, we get baby powder recalled. Okay, fine, whatever, you know, because of inhalation or something like that. But this is a much bigger deal. And I wonder how many of the ones that are sold end up coming back, you know, to be fixed. And then how many are out there that are still floating around and haven't been fixed because either the firearm owner doesn't know or they're lazy or whatever other factor, you know? Because I mean, there's no registration, so you can't track these guys down, you know, by and large. I mean, I guess the gun store can, but I don't know. That kind of thing makes me go, we really need to publicize these firearm recalls a little bit more, you know?
Well, that's why it's on This Week in Guns, everyone's favorite show, right?
Indeed. You're doing your part, Jake. You're doing your part.
First of many robot cops hit the beat in Dubai.
Dude, let me tell you a little story about that. So those guys they have so much money, they're just bored. I mean, it's a gimmick, dude. Like literally one of my friends who's a contractor, he's in IT with me, told me that some of those oil baron and oil prince boys like will literally like drive their $500,000 freaking sports car on the side of the road, let it run out of gas, and someone also come pick it up, and it'll be there 2 days later. I mean, they're just so filthy rich that they just have nothing else to do. They're just bored. And I looked at the video, I looked at the article. It's just a basic terminal looked like a cop. That's all. It's a computer, dude, dressed up to look like a cop.
Isn't the computer going to totally fry in the 120 degree heat?
Yeah. They probably didn't test that out well, Natalie, I bet. I mean, because like I said, they're just rich. They're like, oh, why don't we make this? Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Well, they make some pretty cool things over there, I gotta say. Sure. Although their islands end up sinking sometimes, so I wouldn't really. I wouldn't buy land in Dubai. No.
Yeah, consider it's man-made, right?
Most of it.
I don't know. Maybe they're rolling out the robot cops to investigate all the people falling off skyscrapers out there.
Does that happen a lot? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, people getting drunk, being inebriated on drugs and alcohol, falling off of those. Yep. People playing golf off the top.
Whoa. You can't get drugs and alcohol in Dubai.
That's not what they're saying about the people falling off the top of these skyscrapers. So
I mean, that's wow. I have a good friend who lives there, and she's like, we never see. Well, hang on, that's not true because I think they have been to bars. So I guess it's just the Muslims that can't do it.
Yep, because it's specifically in their religion and culture not to. But this guy's an American contractor, my buddy who lives there for 3 years now, and yeah, they've got it.
Well, I'm offended. Somebody's offended. We're to the I'm offended section, and this could have been maybe in the positive news. The firing squad has been passed in Mississippi. The governor signed it into law, quietly signed it into law, but Mississippi joins Utah and Oklahoma for states that have death by firing squad as an option.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's awesome.
It's a lot
I'll
cheaper.
tell you why. Well, the reason why I think it's awesome is this. The argument has been this. With the lethal injection, some of the people have said, theoretically, because obviously no one lives after the lethal injection, what if since it's a series of 3 drugs, the first one is supposed to numb you, the second one's supposed to put you to sleep, and the third one's supposed to kill you? The argument was, how do you know they're not in a between sleep and awake state and going through pain that they can't express it as they die? So this way, there you go. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, this is a little grisly, but where do you aim?
Well, if it's a child molester, I know where I'm aiming.
I'm just saying, I bet you that's regulated though, you know, like how exactly you handle this kind of situation, because you're talking about pain, you know. I mean, there's only one place where, you know, it knocks out all the pain before you.
I would think that they'd want them to aim at the brain box, Natalie, like, because then no one knows who did it too, you know. Yeah,
well, that's the point of the firing squad, right? Ugh. Yikes, man, that's pretty freaking bloody. I don't know.
Still waiting to hear which state will first pass the wood chipper for child molesters law.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
that's so Fargo. That's so Fargo of you.
Dude, it's so funny that you actually said that. There was an article that I saw yesterday over in, all right, I got to find it now. But they passed a law. Okay, I'm not even going to tell you about it until I find it.
I mean, are you thinking of the scene in Fargo?
You look for that. Everyone else can go to Amazon and buy the movie Fargo if you haven't seen it. There is
and the show
too. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have it.
I
got
went to college with is in. She plays the Frances McDormand character. I went to college with the girl named Allison. She's on there. Yes.
Very cool. You can go to Amazon and first you go to the Firearms Radio Network website and click our Amazon affiliate link, and then you can check out, and we'll get a small portion of that sale, and it supports pro-gun radio like This Week in Guns. And just don't tell Amazon that. You can contribute though by buying, any of your household stuff. Buy diapers on there. You can buy spark plugs. You can buy anything on there. So head on over to firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. Click that affiliate link. You can bookmark that link as well and shop anywhere and support pro-gun radio.
Hey, question for you about that. If we buy typically through the Amazon app on our phones, can we still route it through?
You can. So I know what you mean. You can add everything to your cart in the app, and then once you're on your desktop or tablet or whatever, you basically have to do it from a browser. So once you're in a browser, you can click the affiliate link, go back to your cart that you already added stuff to, and check out, and that'll work.
Got it.
Awesome. So here it is. I put it in the chat, and I put it on the live broadcast window on Facebook. Indonesia introduces death penalty and castration for child rapists. The move follows public outrage at rising levels of violence against children. Rock stars. Thank you. Chemical castration for child rapists, president said, intended to overcome crisis caused by sexual violence against children. Good for you guys. Rock on. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, castration should just be a starting point. Yeah, absolutely. Full auto news segment is where we're at now. Stories the real media won't talk about and other crazy stuff. Each of the hosts picks a story to call their own here.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, dude.
That's so uncool. I mean, I'm looking. My first headline is ISIS Navy SEAL video is pure comedy.
Oh, yeah. That one is hilarious.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Okay, well, maybe you should speak to it because I haven't seen it yet. Oh my gosh,
okay,
it does look amazing.
Since you called it, we'll tag team this one. You're right.
Okay, yeah, cool.
All right, so the video is absolutely hilarious. It's just the ISIS dudes in their normal ISIS garbs that you always see them on, and they're like literally copying American Navy SEAL commercials. Like they're in the water, they have them all come up and rise up slowly out of the water and like go and start shooting and moving, and they try to mimic our military.
Oh my gosh, it's literally slow-mo.
They literally try to make it look like they're badasses, and it's hilarious. It is such comedy. It's ridiculous because they have no skill. They're just trying to pretend like they're something they're not.
All right, while you guys are looking for your other stories, I'll go with this one. Maine, the state of Maine, they have a general store that offers guns, wedding gowns, and cold beer. That's right. You can pick up your bride's wedding gown, get the gun as a wedding gift, and pick up the beer for your celebration. I
have a friend who lives next to, or whose parents live next to this place, and I have been meaning to go there for years. So I think that's hilarious. And for the record, you said give a gun for the wedding gifts. I actually did that for my husband.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm. Who gets wife of the year?
You're awesome. You are. Yes, you definitely get wife of the year.
Yeah. I was pretty, and it was like a gun that was technically not even available yet, which is very proud of. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just gonna toot my own horn a little bit right there. Pretty proud of that one.
That's awesome. Well done.
Continue. Sorry.
Very cool. And it looks like this place is a gas station too, because there's a lovely couple pictured in front of the store sign with the lady is in a wedding gown holding some beer. The guy is holding a shotgun over his shoulder, and it says Hussey's Maine's largest general store, guns, wedding gowns, cold beer on the sign. And gas is $2.17 a gallon.
I want to be friends with these people. They look like just amazing people. I even like her dress. I'm just saying. I want to give them, can't they franchise out? I really want to give them some sort of business here in California.
I'd be all about franchising that.
I know, right?
Okay, Braca, what do you got?
So basically, it's a video of an Iraqi soldier mocking incoming ISIS sniper fire. They're in a convoy with armored vehicles, and literally, as the joke that ISIS are, they're trying to hit these people and they're missing like by a mile. So the guy is just taunting him and making fun and saying how bad they suck and totally mocking and joking and laughing while they're laying down heavy artillery in the way of where that so-called sniper is. And he's just mocking and making fun of him because the guy can't shoot and he's not a marksman whatsoever. So he definitely doesn't qualify as a sniper. I love how these guys just imitate us and put names on themselves by trying to say that whatever, they're this, they're that. They're not. They're just ISIS. They're a joke. It's just funny to me.
All right. Yeah. Any other full auto stories?
Well, I mean, you really picked some really fascinating headlines, and it was really hard for me to choose. I kind of want to talk about all of them. I want to go over all of them, but I just clicked on the Chinese underground gun school, and a quick read reveals that they're, obviously guns are illegal in China. Fun fact, they at LAX gun range, you would not believe how many Chinese and British, it's always Chinese and British, like, or subjects of the UK, subjects that they are. It's a little too soon. Actually, London just got hit. So, sorry. My apologies to all the Brits. But anyway, it's always the Asians that come in and want to shoot. Like, they're dying to shoot. They're so fascinated with it, which, this article mentions. I have seen it firsthand. I mean, these people just want to get their hands on a gun and learn. And so anyway, some dude, there's a video from Vice. I mean, it's Vice, right? So, take it for what it is. But apparently there's a school in the Philippines for these people to come and learn, which I think is pretty fascinating. I can't really make a judgment call on it because I just did a quick read, but
is it the Philippines or Cambodia? There's
no,
some country.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Some country where you can go to a range and shoot anything you want.
Oh yeah, no, I told you about this. Yes. So my husband was working on a documentary it was Cambodia. It was Cambodia.
Oh, okay.
And
cool.
you could go and buy an RPG. An RPG.
Sweet.
Yeah, and one of those water buffalo that they have, and it was like $25, or I don't know, maybe it was $100 or something like that. But it was not. It wasn't expensive, and aim and fire and hit or not hit, like literally.
Explode water buffalo with an RPG. I'm in.
I'm serious. That's a real thing, but it's like. I mean, yeah, it is kind of funny. Okay, it's kind of funny, but also it's like, well, I hate canned hunting, right? Like, I think that's super unethical. So this is basically canned hunting, except with like a grenade as a bullet. I don't know.
As long as it's a clean kill, it's ethical, right?
One shot, one kill is
how many of those
you
shots
kill it and you process it all in one step.
Oh my gosh, process it for all of the other predators that are going to come up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would kind of like to see it. I would kind of just like, but then just see it. That's all.
Wouldn't want to see it. Come on. All right. You can pledge your support for this show. You can go over to firearmsradio.tv/pledge, saving up to buy that water buffalo in Cambodia. You can pledge for as little as $5.
This was a long time ago. They may have, put a moratorium on that. I'm not sure, but it
is Cambodia, Natalie. Come on.
I know. I mean, good point.
Firearmsradio.tv/pledge. Go over there. You can pledge for as little as $5 per episode of support pro gun radio like This Week in Guns. You can also head on over to patriotpatch.co. Have the new, right here, have the new Safe Space 2.0 patch in stock.
Nice.
So
I want that one.
That thing is awesome, dude.
The first version of this was the first patch we ever did for the Patch of the Month Club, and that's super rare. People are like looking for it on the forums and everywhere, trying to find them. Discontinue, but so we came out with this 2.0 version. It's completely different, but same theme, and it's available to the public at patriotpatch.co. Check it out. Safe Space Patch 2.0. Also, the Patch of the Month. If you're not a subscriber, you need to be. These are the M80 Firecracker June Patch of the Month at patriotpatch.co.
Sure.
Very few enrollment slots.
Yep, I got that one.
I got that one.
Cool. And then we have an even cooler patch coming out in July, so you're definitely going to want to be subscribed. Come July. Head on over to patriotpatch.co.
I think these things should be like trading cards. You know what I mean? Like that Safe Space patch, which I also have, by the way, is amazing and so cool. And people are always very excited and jealous about it because I think it's hilarious. And I'm just saying, like they're great gifts also.
Well, they do that on the Facebook patch groups. They'll trade and everything. And
they do.
It's
like trading cards like they did for like Pokemon or.
Oh, don't make it sound nerdy.
I mean, dude, it's a little nerdy, but they are really, really cool. They are really, I think they're exceptionally well-made patches. Awesome. And they're very creative. Who comes up with the patches, by the way?
Ryan Cross at patriotpatch.co.
Yeah,
he's the one and only genius designer. He comes up with all the beautiful artwork. Sometimes I'll throw concepts at him too. We worked on this one together, but yeah, he's the man.
They're hilarious and awesome every time.
Business. Yeah, patriotpatch.co. So this is the part of the show where we see what these guys are up to and where you can connect with them online. So Natalie, what's up and where can people connect with you online?
I mean, you can always find me on A Girl's Guide to Guns. I don't know, something, if you Natalie at girlsguidetoguns.com is probably the quickest way to find me, or obviously Twitter, Facebook, all of that. And what am I up to? So we're just getting started on the next installment, the next season of Love at First Shot for NRA women, which I'm really, really excited about. There's going to be, this is going to be such a killer season. There are just so many amazing women out there to showcase to you guys. So I am stoked. And I know that this show is heavily, skews heavily male. So get your significant others, get the ladies in your life watching this. I mean, that's what we do it for, is to, the objective of Love at First Shot, my passion has always been for it to be kind of an entry point for women to feel comfortable and not feel like, oh, I'm stupid for not knowing, or like, some instructor that's maybe a little too loud, has a little hearing damage, so he yells at you, in their face about it. It's just, it's supposed to be a very gentle entry into really understanding guns and gun safety and gun culture and everything from, your basic 22s to, I mean, we even get into hunting and cooking your kill and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I'm really proud of it. So you guys check it out. It's on nrawomen.tv and also, obviously, NRA TV.
Awesome. Very cool. Baraka, what's up with MASF and where can people connect online?
What's up is duck butt, because when ducks walk, their butts waddle and they're up. With MASF, we had our CCR yesterday.
That's a dad joke. That's a really bad dad joke. Wow.
You got banned from saying chicken butt.
You can thank one of your listeners who directly PM'd me that day after the show and was like, hey, I got something for you. You can't say chicken butt anymore, but guess what you could say to get under Jake's skin? I was like, look,
sir, you're banned as well.
How'd you know? How'd you know who it was? That's awesome. So we had our 16th episode of Civilian Carry Radio last night, and it was an awesome show with William. And he is a mindset guy, and that show was the most different perspective I've ever seen. We basically talked the whole show about what you can do preventatively, and basically as far as situational awareness is concerned, to be proactive and to not look like a victim, to pay attention to your surroundings. He also is a mental health care specialist, worked in jails, talked to tons of criminals, and was explaining the mindset of criminals, how the reason why there's such a gap between thinking of law-abiding citizens and criminals. Criminals don't look at people, they look at them like a problem. Like if you saw a bug and a bug was in your way, you would swipe it off. That's the way they feel about people. There's no empathy, and people, since they don't think that way, for them to be proactive, they're not thinking and understanding the level of violence that a criminal will do to you or commit to you, because they don't understand and they're not capable of thinking that way. And that's where the big disconnect is, when we're trying to get people to learn how to be safe, to take ownership for their own lives, to go to class, to learn situational awareness. It's hard for them because they don't want to think that way. They don't want to believe there's evil like that in the world. So I encourage you to go to our site, masf.co, pull up the link for CCR, watch the show from last night. As always, we're pushing for firearms safety education, training, and proper mindset. We are a charity. Please support us. Please subscribe to our show and sign up for our newsletter. We'd really appreciate it, folks, because remember, gun ownership is your right, but safety education, training, and responsibility is your responsibility.
Absolutely. You can leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of this YouTube video or the bottom of the show notes. You can leave a review over on iTunes for This Week in Guns. You can also contribute to the show using FRN's Amazon affiliate link, firearmsradio.tv/Amazon, or just go to our website and click through before shopping Amazon. Well, thank you, Natalie. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Jake. So good to see you again.
Great having you on. I had a bunch of listeners on the Facebook chat excited to have you back. So.
Oh, high five, guys. Thanks. Thanks for welcoming me. That means so much to me. Seriously. I love getting to chat with all of you guys. So thanks.
We'll try to have you back sooner this time around for sure.
Well, this time slot is not bad. I'm just saying. Just putting a little plug in there.
That's right.
And Baraka, thank you.
It is my pleasure. I'm always honored to come on, and it's good to see you and Natalie virtually, because the last time I saw you both in person was at NRA in Atlanta. That's right.
Just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well, that's true. It was only a few weeks ago, but it's always refreshing to see you guys smiling faces again. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you're a fan of This Week in Guns, we have a This Week in Guns Facebook group that you can be a part of and join the conversation after the show about This Week in Guns topics. So just search This Week in Guns on Facebook, and you can request to join. That's a wrap. We'll see you next week.